Hey, Pisces, Mel, intuitive coach here, excited to bring in your April 2025 love and family reading. If you're interested in a personal reading, signing up for the monthly newsletter, or entering into the free reading giveaway, you can find all of that information in the description box below the video. All right. Now, Pisces, I am hearing Lizzo's voice very strongly. So for some of you, perhaps you are listening to Lizzo. Perhaps there's some sort of truth that hurts and someone is getting a taste of maybe what it feels like to not be with you in some way, because you have the karmic relationship and you also have separation. All right. I feel like some of you have separated yourself from a karmic here. There may have been a lot of resentments, a lot of triggers. This was a very intense energy between the both of you where you had to separate to keep your peace. 7 of Wands here. Now, for those of you that may be in a relationship, this karmic could even be a family member. This could be someone who has definitely left a lot of tumultuous energy in their wake here. And I feel like you are in a space where you need to do what you need to do that's best for you. And that's what the 7 of Wands is bringing in here. So you're standing up for yourself. This is about you living and leading from a place of integrity. This is about you not compromising who you are at the sake of the devil. The devil is crossing your path here. The devil came up with with the star energy. So it feels like you've done a lot of healing, controlling your fears, controlling even your desires, rather than letting something or someone control you. So I'm going to keep the star there with the devil because I feel like this has been very challenging. I mean, karmic lessons, karmic relationships are some of the most profound relationships that we'll ever have. And it's very difficult to sever from them as there's a constant pull back, kind of like a rubber band. But I feel like you are releasing, you're letting that energy go, because some of you, goodness, you have cards that are wanting to come out left and right. For some of you in the future, there's an important date coming in, okay, in the month of April. And this card has shown up for a few signs. And every time this card comes up, now I'm wondering if this is a collective energy. April 12th. Now, I haven't even looked at astrological placements for April quite yet, so I'm not sure what's happening on that date, but I definitely feel like that date you should circle on your calendar, April 12th. Now, for some of you, the month of April could hold a special meaning or date for you. And I do feel for those of you that are single, even though you're keeping your peace and perhaps you're not necessarily putting yourself out there at this time, I do see that you will be meeting someone new. Some of you may even be dating online. Now, for those of you that are in a union, I just feel like there's been a constant struggle, constant resentments or triggers that have caused you to disconnect from this person, caused you to separate your energy. The lesson is around boundaries. The lesson is around your own identity, because sometimes we get trapped into an identity that's not even ours. You know, we tend to get caught up in someone else's vibe and we lose ourselves a bit in the process. And I just feel like you're reclaiming your power here. You're definitely reclaiming your power. Bottom of the deck, you have the 3 of Wands. So Pisces, when the 3 of Wands shows up, this is about moving forward towards success, not getting lost in the planning, not getting lost in the expectations of what something should look like, but allowing yourself the space to grow and evolve and to be curious about it, but also taking a step forward, because she's waiting. She's holding the surfboard there. And she's waiting for that wave to come in, because when the opportunity is ripe, she is going to take action. And I feel like that's what you've been doing here is you're finding your peace, and you can see that the water in front of her is calm. There are no waves out there, but it feels between now and the next 3 weeks or so, it feels like you're going to catch this opportunity. It's going to be your time to take action here. And I also see here you nurturing yourself. There's something about coming to a place of self-love, self-healing, self-acceptance. The self is being highlighted here. Now, with this karmic relationship, this is maybe even letting go. Some of you, this is letting go of it. You also have the coffin card at the bottom of the deck. You may have even gone through the loss of a loved one. Perhaps some of you are widowed. For others of you, this may have to do with lessons around letting go, which is one of the most challenging lessons that we can have here on this earthly plane, having this human experience. But there's a new beginning. You're being liberated. You have the word liberation. And even though there may have been a physical death, I feel like you're going to carry the memories with you forever, but you're also going to live for this person. You're going to move on with your life. And yes, there will be memories that come up, but I see here that this individual would want you to move forward. And for some of you, maybe you're not ready because you're in your own space, you're in your own bubble, but I do see here a new beginning arising. And I want to say Taurus season, just with your outcome, Taurus season, that is the end of April. It feels like it is now. This new beginning is arising within you now. Now, this is about being reborn and going through a massive transition. Now, the coffin card can be like the death card. It doesn't have to be a physical. For some of you, it may be, but it's the phoenix rising. It is about liberation. And because we have the devil with the star, oftentimes that star comes after the tower. And I do feel like there's a wish granted. Now, I'm getting another message. This may be for a very small percentage of you, but it feels like there's like a star-crossed lover going on here where you may be separated from someone that's no good for you, or you're not able to be with them at this time. Maybe they're at a distance. Maybe they're in another relationship. Perhaps there's some karma that is playing out between the both of you. So please do take that as it resonates. Now, in your current energy, you do have this separation. This can be about someone thinking about you. All right, you may be missing someone, they may be missing you, but look at the cactus. The cactus has these thorns, and you have to be careful with these thorns. Otherwise, you're going to get pricked and it doesn't feel good. Now, I love though that the cactuses are in full bloom. You see all of the beautiful flowers coming out of the cactus. So it feels like through a very challenging or difficult circumstance or pattern or relationship or ending that had occurred, you are blossoming from it. And oftentimes you have no clue when that cactus is going to bloom. That's happened a couple times for me where I've had cactuses. I didn't even realize that it would flower. And when it does, it is absolutely breathtaking. So it feels like there's a part of you where even if you felt cut down or if you felt low on energy, you're regaining a sense of vitality. You are transmuting this energy. You're alchemizing an experience that you've gone through and you're turning it into something quite wondrous. And in the future, you have the date card. Some of you may be approaching a date, as I mentioned, or you are, celebrating an anniversary. Maybe you're wanting to renew a feeling of connectivity between you and someone. But for a lot of you who are single at this time, I feel like you're wanting to maybe get back out there. This is about you meeting someone new. And I feel like there could even be a picnic date. Okay, some of you, there could be a picnic date, a hiking date. I am getting here maybe meeting over like coffee, meeting over a glass of wine, if that's your thing. But I see someone being corded with flowers. You see the beautiful carnation here? It feels like someone may receive flowers in the month of April, okay? From maybe someone new, or flowers could be delivered, or again, flowers are significant. They're also showing me a pressed flower. And I also see flowers, lilies. There's something with the lilies blooming. Maybe some of you received a flower pot from a funeral that could actually be blooming here in the month of April. That's going to be your sign from them, the sign from the spirit world, but it's also a sign saying something deep within you is blossoming. There's a new beginning. Now, Pisces, you are starting off in the Seven of Wands energy, protecting your peace. All right, that's what she's doing. She's meditating there. She's in her own bubble. Even though the Seven of Wands threatened to come through and penetrate the bubble, this is you saying, I'm going to live life on my terms. I am going to meet any challenges that I face, but I'm going to keep my cool. I'm going to keep my energy safe. I'm going to protect myself, and I'm not going to get sucked into or drawn back into a space where I felt very uncomfortable, right? The cactus space, if you will. Like imagine crawling through a field of cacti. I mean, is that the plural for cactuses? Cacti? I'm not quite sure, but I feel like you are no longer wanting to crawl through that energy because it was icky. It didn't feel good. Well, now what's crossing you is the Star and the Devil. There's something here that you are learning how to control. You're learning how to not let other people get the best of you. You're learning how to not let external influences drag you down, where some of you are on empathy overload. Some of you are empaths. You pick up on the energies of others. You may be tempted easily. But I feel like the Star card here is reminding you to not give up on your hopes and your dreams, not let distractions or temptations get in the way of your dreams. That's one of the biggest messages showing up here. Now, what's below you? Some of you were dealing with a sneak, someone who may have lied to you, someone who wasn't being honest, someone who may have been trying to get away with something. It's like they weren't fully showing up in their truest, most authentic form. And maybe you were in denial about it. Perhaps you had high hopes for this person. But it feels like if this was a person, they struggled maybe with addiction. They may have struggled with their own temptations that got the best of them. These temptations may have controlled them in some way. And as much as you loved, as much as you cared for this energy, you had to protect your own peace. And even if that means disconnecting, separating, and doing what you needed to do to move forward. Because we can lead a horse to water, we can't make it drink. And the Seven of Swords, something of the deep past you had to go through, I do feel like was a little bit of an illusion, right? Maybe it was the illusion of walking through that field full of thorns. And maybe you did get cut and you weren't even quite sure, like, maybe I'm not even walking through this field of thorns anymore, but I still feel like they're there. I still feel like I'm being cut up by some thorns. And it just feels like you weren't quite sure how to heal or how to get out of this. Therefore, in the recent past, Pisces, you've gone through this deep transformation with the Hermit. A lot of signs have been getting the Hermit. This is Virgo's energy here. We are in a 9 collective year. Virgo is currently in the South Node. This is the energy of enlightenment. It's also the energy of completions. You have completed a karmic cycle. You have learned very, very valuable lessons through this soul searching, through this introspection, through maybe going within. And I feel like you had to withdraw. You've had to disconnect, separate your energies here in some way in order for you to fully see the truth. And what's above you here is the Five of Pentacles. You've been humbled. This experience that you've gone through has left you humbled. It's left you filled with humility here. And I also feel like it's helped strengthen your beliefs. It's helped you fully step into your integrity here. Because oftentimes the Five of Pentacles can be pride. It can be arrogance. It can be feeling left out in the cold because someone has abandoned you. Someone has left you behind. Or maybe you abandoned yourself at the expense of another. Perhaps you lost a part of your own identity at the expense of another when all you wanted was love. Yes, this situation was challenging, but you're no longer crawling through the field of thorns. All right. You're no longer left out in the cold. I feel like you've come to a place where your peace, your aura is protected, and you are being divinely directed towards this energy here. I feel April 12th, some sort of, maybe calendar date. You may, if you're into astrology as well, look that up and I'll be posting it in my newsletter. It feels like there's something significant showing up, and it's like I'm getting clock, like someone looking at the clock, and now I'm seeing an hourglass being shifted where now's the time. Now showing up in the near future, you have the Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups, she is focusing on filling her own cup first. Instead of maybe people pleasing, instead of perhaps taking things so personally, instead of letting other people drain her energy, maybe even use her as a doormat, take advantage of her. Queen of Cups surrenders and says, all right, I got to fill my own cup now. I got to live my life for me now. That is not selfish. And so I see a lot of you really nurturing you. And I think I said that in the beginning, massive self-care, self-love. That's the choice. That's the direction you are heading in. And when you do so, that's when change happens. That's when things come up because you are starting a new life. There's been missed opportunities or there's been delays in this new opportunity. But I feel like now is the time that you are being offered. This is the hands of the divine coming through, offering you something that you can taste, touch, see, feel, right? This is physical. This is in the material world. A lot of you are balancing out your spiritual world with your physical. And that's what this Virgo Pisces energy. I mean, Pisces, you are in the north node where Virgo is in the south. This is your year to really bring balance into your energy. This is a balanced lifestyle that is good for the body, the mind, and the soul. One that is not controlled by the devil. One that you're able to live. I always say here, the devil allows us to experience the desires and pleasures of the earthly realm, but it's when we get attached to them, when we are bonded to them, when we obsess about things, when we overindulge in those things, that's when we have the devil show up. Okay, that's when the devil shows up in a reminder, as a reminder that says, detach. Detach from the outcome, detach from certain expectations because you have a new beginning here arising. Now you have the King of Cups. Look at this. You have a partner. There's something here that has to do with the healing of two souls, the healing of two hearts. All right. And perhaps the devil is tempting you to either stay in a karmic relationship, one that is very emotionally imbalanced, one that's very much high and very much low, because you both are showing up as not in the fullest, right? Someone needs to focus on oneself. And I feel like the King of Cups is also showing up a little sideways, where it's important to create a sense of self-identity outside of the relationship and even within it. And I feel like you are calling in, for those of you that are wanting love, you're calling in a King of Cups or even a Queen of Cups. This is near future. There is some sort of partnership here that you are separating from so you can connect to love in the highest form. For others of you, you are or have been separated from someone with a newfound sense of understanding. Understanding matters of the heart. What is love? And they're showing me the poem, Love is Patient, Love is Kind. For some of you, that could be significant. That could even be someone's vows of some sort, or perhaps that those are the lessons that you are learning. You may want to look at that poem. Maybe there's lessons around patience, lessons around kindness, maybe understanding, maybe ego, right? Love does not boast. So in your hopes and fears, you have the 9 of Wands, healthy boundaries and interdependence. The 9 of Wands also is about you overcoming any external hurdles. Now, sometimes this is the wounded warrior. I mean, she is the one that literally has crawled through the field of thorns. She has been scratched. She has been bruised. She has been thrown in the mix of chaos. And she also has risen up. There's a sense here of being stronger, okay? Stronger mentally, emotionally, physically. And that is the hope, that you're able to overcome these external obstacles, that you will persevere through spiritual strength and healthy boundaries. And I absolutely feel like you will. Why? How? Well, because this is your outcome. You have the Empress. Pisces, the Empress is the mother of all. She is the cosmic heart, the cosmic womb. She is the one that wraps you up in the nurturing arms of the divine. This is about you coming back to a space of love. And it reminds me of Marianne Williams' book, A Return to Love. So some of you are returning to a part of yourself, right? A piece of yourself that perhaps you lost somewhere along the way. And I feel like the Empress showing up is the birth of a new cycle. The Empress rules Libra and Taurian energy, and we have Taurus coming up in the month of April. So I definitely feel like this new cycle, it's like you have been pushing and pushing and pushing. Think of giving birth here, and it feels like you've been pushing for so long that you are exhausted. You are exhausted. You are ready to give up. And then right before you want to give up, that magic happens. It's you birthing a new life into yourself. I mean, for some of you, this could be actual pregnancy, but for the majority of you, this is birthing a new cycle into physical existence. This is a gift. This is fertility. This is creativity. It's releasing control, releasing possessiveness, releasing the need to have walls around the heart. It is about nurturing. And I feel like this is what you are tapping into. Some of you are healing mother wounds. For others of you, that coffin card, this could be a mother coming in, and maybe the month of April, okay, or even May, because Taurus is here. Maybe April or May is significant. Some of you have a mother who is either a Taurus or even an Aries. And I feel here that you are embracing this cycle as a new beginning. You've liberated yourself here. You are free. And I just feel like you're getting back out there in some way. You're putting yourself out in the world in some way. You are living life to the best of your ability here, and some, because you have this newfound sense of spiritual strength. All right, Pisces, let's get a message from the wisdom of the Oracle. What do we have for Pisces, please? Oh, I love this. This confirms where you're going. This is the Peace card. Card 23. Now 2 and 3 equals 5. Yes, you've been in the fields of the thorns, right? But you're coming out of that. That's the healing energy of the star. The stars are aligning here to bring you a wish. This is freedom from attachment. It literally says freedom from attachment. That's why you have the devil and the star. Whatever it was that you were attached to or tethered to or bonded to in some way, this is freedom. It's radical acceptance. It doesn't get any better than this. A quiet mind, that's where you're at. That's what the Seven of Wands is. Look at her in her bubble meditating. She has a quiet mind, a quiet, a heart that's fulfilled, freedom from want. This is the soul satisfaction. The way to peace is through radical acceptance. Everything in your world is exactly as it should be. When two people are in true alignment with one another, they have an innate harmony between them. They are as two perfectly tuned instruments playing together. Sometimes it's impossible to tell who is who, right? We talked about that, the boundary, getting lost in the mix here. And because I see that there's still a wavelength of energy that is being healed, being worked through. It says here, now is a time for calmness and well-being in spite of temporary conditions. Even if there are dissonant notes in the music of your life, right? Even if something feels imbalanced, all that means is that you must go within, Pisces, and fine-tune the extraordinary instrument that you are. That's that Queen of Cups, extreme self-care. Find harmony within yourself and don't look to the outer world to provide certainty. This too shall pass, and once again, your life will be filled with beautiful music. That's the Empress, right? That's the Empress showing up here for you. All right, let's get a message from your crystal spirits. And at this time, Pisces, if you can safely do so, please close your eyes. Take a nice deep breath in from your solar plexus chakra, your belly area. Nice big breath in through the nose. Hold it for 4 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and release with a nice big sigh through your mouth. And with your eyes still closed, tune into your third eye chakra, the area between your eyebrows and your forehead region. And I want you, Pisces, to imagine the first crystal or gemstone that shows up in your mind's eye. Now, this could be a crystal that you are familiar with and maybe even know the name of. Perhaps your gemstone is showing up as a specific shape, size, or color. This could be a crystal that's giving off a vibration of unconditional love, hope, strength, or protection. And if you need a moment, just pause the video and come back when you are ready. And for those of you that would like to be entered into the free monthly reading giveaway, all you need to do, Pisces, is drop your crystals in the comment section below the video. I'll enter you into the giveaway where I draw one winner around the first of the month and post right back here on the community tab. So please make sure you've hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. All right, I see here massive transformation. You have Moldavite. Now, for those of you that are not familiar with Moldavite, this is a powerful transformation stone. When you meditate with Moldavite, there is a guarantee of rebirth, and it's rebirth through fire. And we are in that Aries energy, which is fire at this time. This is opening to new experiences. It's revitalization and renewal. Now, Moldavite is actually a green tektite that was formed when a meteorite crashed into the Czech Republic millions of years ago. It is a crystal heralding massive transformation on all levels. This stone is not a stone to play with or take lightly, and it's definitely not recommended for those unwilling to step out of their comfort zone. Once we engage with Moldavite, we need to buckle up because things are going to get interesting. This stone is intense. I love working with crystals, and I have come into contact. I do not have a Moldavite myself, surprisingly, but I have come into contact with Moldavite, and I'll tell you, the energy is intense. So for those of you that have Moldavite, or you have a story or an experience around it, I would love to hear it. I'm sure other viewers would love to hear it as well. Drop it below. Next, you have Agerine. It's number 1. Ones are gifts. Remember, ones are new beginnings. So Agerine here is, and I'll just show you in just a moment. This is about integrity, solidarity, impeccability. It reminds me of the 4 agreements. Be impeccable with your word. So there's a sense here of consistency, staying consistent within your actions. When you meditate with Agerine, it helps us pull out of our emotions and place us firmly in the well of our strength. So for some of you, because that Queen of Cups, which is you are a water sign, sometimes we can become quite emotional. When you need help relying on your strength, Agerine can help us reclaim our power and embody all that we have learned. So this is a really great grounding stone for you as well. And then lastly, one of my personal favorites, it's definitely a top 3, raw morganite. This is a really sensitive energy. It's gentle. It's filled with empathy, compassion. It's the gift of vulnerability, and it's also about self-forgiveness. And when we meditate with morganite, it's all about the heart. This is a heart cleansing stone that is very, very valuable when we wish to release old patterns, wounds, and blockages that are obstacles to loving relationships with others. When you meditate with this stone, it allows us to connect into divine love. And I said that earlier, the cosmic heart, the mother. So no wonder, and rose quartz is another really beautiful mother stone, but there's something absolutely breathtaking when it comes to the energy of morganite here. It really helps ease fears around vulnerability. It allows us to be open to receiving love from others and from spirit. So it really correlates with the Empress and the Queen of Cups that I see here in your reading. So if you have these crystals, perhaps these crystals or gemstones shown up for you in your mind's eye, or if you have stories about them, do let me know. Drop it in the comment section. I'll also enter you into that free reading giveaway. So thank you so much for being here, Pisces, and tuning in. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button, and I'm sending you lots of love.